Cells are amazing. They are the tiny units that make up all living things, from the smallest bacteria to the largest animals. Everything is made of cells. Think of cells like Lego blocks, just like Legos can be put together to make all sorts of things. Cells come together to make different organisms. Cells are like tiny factories. They have different parts that work together to keep the cell alive. Cells need to eat and get energy. They also need to get rid of waste. Cells can even reproduce, making more cells. Understanding cells helps us understand life itself. It helps us learn how organisms grow, develop, and interact with their environment. It even helps us understand diseases and develop new medicines. Now let's talk about the two main types of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells are different in many ways, but they also share some similarities. Let's learn about these common features. Both types of cells have a plasma membrane. Think of the plasma membrane like a cell's skin. It's a thin barrier that surrounds the cell and holds everything inside. The plasma membrane controls what goes into and out of the cell. Both types of cells have genetic material. This is the cell's blueprint. It's like a set of instructions that tells the cell what to do. The genetic material is called DNA. Both types of cells have cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is like a jelly-like substance that fills the cell. It's where all the cell's parts are found. Finally, both types of cells have ribosomes. Ribosomes are like tiny factories that make proteins. Proteins are important molecules that do all sorts of jobs in the cell. Even though prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells share some similarities, they also have some key differences. Let's explore these differences. One big difference is the nucleus. Eukaryotic cells have a nucleus, but prokaryotic cells do not. The nucleus is like the cell's brain. It's where the DNA is stored. The nucleus is surrounded by a membrane, kind of like a bag. Another difference is organelles. Eukaryotic cells have organelles, but prokaryotic cells do not. Organelles are like little organs inside the cell. They have special jobs to do. For example, mitochondria are organelles that produce energy for the cell. The DNA is different too. Eukaryotic cells have linear DNA. Imagine a long, straight piece of string. That's what linear DNA is like. Prokaryotic cells have circular DNA. Imagine the string tied in a circle. That's what circular DNA is like. Cell division is also different. Eukaryotic cells divide by a process called mitosis. Prokaryotic cells divide by a process called binary fission. Binary fission is a simpler process than mitosis. Finally, movement can be different. Eukaryotic cells can move in more complex ways than prokaryotic cells. For example, some eukaryotic cells have a tail called a flagellum that helps them swim. These are just a few of the key differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Understanding the differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells is important for many reasons. It helps us understand how different organisms function. For example, bacteria are prokaryotic cells. They are very different from human cells, which are eukaryotic. Understanding these differences helps us develop antibiotics to fight bacterial infections. It helps us understand evolution. Scientists believe that eukaryotic cells evolved from prokaryotic cells. By studying the differences between these cells, we can learn about the history of life on Earth. It helps us in biotechnology. For example, we use bacteria to make yogurt and cheese. Understanding how prokaryotic cells work helps us use them to make these products. In conclusion, understanding the differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells is essential for anyone interested in biology, medicine, or biotechnology. Keep exploring the amazing world of cells.